Most of our clients, they come to us between, say, the ages of 50 to 60. We specialize in rolling out pension plans. The largest steel company in Canada is 20 minutes away from us, and we've had a huge impact on a lot of lives there because we've been able to retire a lot of people out. Probably have about 400 families from that steel mill. They have a pension where they have partly defined benefits for life, but then they also get a very large cash rollout, anywhere from, say, 300 to 500,000 at a time comes out. And then we invest those assets with whatever assets they've already accumulated, create a retirement plan for them, and then make sure it's completely, got a full estate plan to it as well to avoid probate, lawyers' fees, any issues that there is down the line. When these people are coming to that retirement age, most of them haven't really thought about what they're going to do in retirement. They don't have the mindset yet, so you have to kind of prepare them for it. So every day is going to be a Saturday, and you usually spend a lot of money on Saturdays. So you have to prepare them for, look, you're going to be on a fixed income. You're not going to be poor by any stretch, but just because you're going to be receiving a large sum of money doesn't mean you can be going and giving that out to the kids. You don't want to be giving, oh, this one can have 20,000, this one can have 20,000, this one can have 20,000, because that's money you might need down the road, especially if, this day and age, people are living a long time. And if they have to go into something where they have assisted living, it's very expensive. So they will need that money down the road. And if you've given the money to the kids, and if they've done the right thing and paid down their mortgage, they won't have that money down the road because they'll have done something else with it. And now, where does that put you? Do you have to move back in with the kids? Will they be able to help you out? These are big problems. In our market, real estate prices have gone anywhere from 2 to 10 times what they were 5 years ago. So these are large sums of money that these people have never had before. And all of a sudden, they might have had $500,000 invested, but they've just made $800,000 tax-free from their house. And they think, I can give one of the kids $100,000. That'll pay off their mortgage. Fantastic. Again, bad idea. We totally stress to them that, you might need that money. It's very, very expensive. I mean, it might cost you $4,000 or $5,000 a month to live in one of these homes. You need that income to, from those investments to actually take care of that for you. And if you get rid of a bunch of it, that's going to be a trouble down the road. And the kids aren't going to be able to help you because the kids aren't as good as savers as the parents used to be. It seems to be the way things are. So part of the plan that I do with them as well, I make sure that every time we invest something with them, it's an insured asset. We have full name beneficiaries, either a spouse first, then children, then grandchildren. So it just passes right down the line. It doesn't get tied up in the courts for a year. The lawyers aren't taking a big chunk out of it. The courts aren't taking a big chunk out of it. It just pays out directly. We try to do it as tax efficiently as possible. Sometimes we get pushback when I recommend that to them because, they'll have 3 kids and Johnny will be the one that's always borrowed money from mom and dad, always needed something, has never done as well as the other 2 siblings. The other 2 have never asked for anything. They've always been great kids. And then all of a sudden they're like, well, maybe I just give a little bit extra money to Johnny to help him out. And I warn them, I say, well, look, what you're doing is you're rewarding your child for bad behavior, for one, but also you're creating a rift between the other kids because now they feel like they're being punished for being successful. And all you're doing is giving your money to the one that isn't, and they're not trying to help themselves out. Another thing that happens a lot too is they suggest, oh, well, maybe to get around some of this stuff, I'll just put, such and such as joined on my account. I trust her with the money. I know where your heart is and what you mean to do, but what you're doing is open yourself up to problems and liabilities later down the road. Because let's say you put the house in joint name with Susie, for example. Susie gets into a bad car accident. She's at fault for it and gets sued. Your house is now Susie's house. You can lose your house. Do you think that's a great idea? No, they don't like that. Same thing with the investments. All of a sudden Susie goes through a divorce. Now ex-husband knows that she's on joint with mom's money. Again, they can go for that money. Not a good idea. So I always tell them that the fairest thing to do is put whoever you want as a beneficiary on your accounts. If you have it listed properly, you can give the money to your child or to your niece or nephew or whoever it is that you want the money to go to, a charity even, but they'll just receive the full sum at that time. You might need all of this money to live off. And You know what? If there's anything left for them, that's fantastic. If you have some life insurance to create another benefit for them or a gift, that's even better. You can set it up specific ways. Because once they start thinking about it, they realize, yeah, if I do that, I might hurt these other two's feelings, or I might create a problem for myself that I didn't realize was there. And then they realize, okay, you're speaking from experience now, because we've seen it all. And I tell stories all the time of bad things that we've seen happen to people's estates, children fighting, because they try to do it a different way and didn't do it the way that we figured would benefit everybody the best.